5 snake season returns to San Diego. Tonight, see what we spoke out with a local snake rescue organization to hear what you should do if you encounter a snake. Plus, a popular Del Mar trail closes. The News of 5 starts right now.
Thing to do if you encounter a snake is give it space, enjoy it for what it is, a beautiful part of nature. You don't need to move it, you don't need to hurt it, you don't need to touch it. That's when bad things happen, but treat it just like it was a bobcat or a coyote. You wouldn't go running over and pet it or anything. So just if you see a snake, give it space, take a picture, tell all your friends, but leave it alone.
Snake season has returned to San Diego. Coming up, see what you should do if you encounter a snake. Good evening, thanks for joining us. I'm Eli Friedman. We begin with snake season returning to San Diego. Rourke Blakeness spoke out to a snake rescue organization who said snakes aren't as big of a threat as you might think.
San Diego is warming up, and one result of this heat is snakes. Right now, we are in what is called snake season, and this means more snakes are going to appear on trails and even in people's houses. I got the chance to speak with the founder of Snake Wranglers, a local snake rescue organization, and he says snakes aren't out to hurt you.
There's so many of them, Rourke. I'd say the most common one is that they're evil and they will chase you and that they're going to go after you. And the truth is, it's nothing like that. They're very shy animals. They want to be left alone. They want nothing to do with humans. It's when we bother them is when bad things happen. But if you leave them alone, and the biggest misconception is that the babies are more dangerous because they can't control their venom, and that is just a myth. From birth, baby snakes of all species have full control over their venom and how to use it. So we get calls for snakes. So when we get called, typically it's going to be in or around someone's home, in their yard. Now, if I was out looking for snakes to find on my own, I wouldn't be looking around people's houses. I'd be out in nature trying to find them around, creeks and rivers and things like that. But for us, we get called to homes. 90% of our calls are directly to someone's house.
Now, you may be wondering what are the different types of snakes and how to identify them.
Yeah, locally, we have about 50 species of snakes that you could find in the state of California. But the only one that is actually a threat medically to humans is our rattlesnakes. All other 49 species are completely harmless.
How can you identify a rattlesnake?
So it's a great question, Rourke. So the easiest way is one of two. One is rattlesnakes' heads are going to be significantly bigger than any other snakes around here, and that's because they have the venom glands. So rattlesnakes, even as babies, heads are going to be, I always say, if their head's the size of my thumb, their neck is going to be that much skinnier. So it's a big triangular shaped head, and that's because they have those big venom glands. And the other way is a rattle. But babies are born with not much of a rattle, so it's not very visible. They're born with what we call a birth button, kind of looks like a pinky fingernail. And then as they grow and shed their skin, their rattle gets longer and longer. So if you see a head or a tail, that's the best way to identify a rattlesnake. The easy answer is none of them if you don't get bitten. But again, the only snakes in the state of California that are a medical threat are rattlesnakes. Could there be another venomous snake out there that possibly someone has a pet and it escaped? Sure. I have never encountered a venomous non-native snake here, so I just tell people if it doesn't have a rattle and a big head, it's probably a harmless snake.
The Snake Wranglers are a non-profit organization. If you'd like to support them, visit their website, snakewranglers.com.
So we don't charge. We're a volunteer group. We decided to do that from the very beginning because if we charge somebody, they may choose to kill it because they don't want to pay. So we figured we'd take that off the table by saying it's free. We do take donations, and most people in San Diego County have been very generous and do donate. So supporting us by saying good things about us, and if you want to donate, we certainly appreciate it. Well, that's a good question too. I just feel like any animal deserves to live. No animal deserves to die. And just because an animal like a rattlesnake potentially could hurt us doesn't mean you should go out and kill them. There's a lot of animals out there that could hurt you. I mean, I hate to say this, but our beloved dogs, domestic dogs, our pets, are responsible for about 50 human fatalities every year. And in this country, the number of people killed by snakes is about 5. So if people are wanting to kill an animal just because it's dangerous, maybe we should look at what we're killing. But killing any animal is wrong unless you're eating it, which I'm fine with that, or it's truly an imminent threat on your personal health, then I guess you got to do what you got to do.
Another question you might be wondering is, where do all these snakes go?
So relocation is kind of a science. We can't take them further than about 1 to 2 square miles from the capture site. If we do, they say they get discombobulated, confused, they don't know where water, shelter, food, so their survival rate drops the further you take them. So what we do is we use the address that we captured the snake in, and then we try to find within that 1 square mile radius a good nature preserve, open space area, canyon area, and we hike them in. All of my team is outdoorsy and athletic and love to be outside, so we hike them in every night, put them back into nature.
And finally, here's what to do if you encounter a snake.
So the best thing to do if you encounter a snake is give it space, enjoy it for what it is, a beautiful part of nature. You don't need to move it, you don't need to hurt it, you don't need to touch it. That's when bad things happen, but treat it just like it was a bobcat or a coyote. You wouldn't go running over and pet it or anything. So just if you see a snake, give it space, take a picture, tell all your friends, but leave it alone.
So next time you see a snake, remember, they're not out to hurt you. In Carlsbad, Rourke Lignot, News Channel 6.
Turning now to a popular trail next to the train tracks in Del Mar near Powerhouse that was recently shut down. Take a look.
The trail next to the train tracks on Del Mar is temporarily closed until mid-2026. The closure is due to the cliff stabilization project from Sandag that is taking action to help prevent the cliffs from collapsing. If there are any updates, we will let you know.
Here's a quick look at your 4-day forecast. Highs in the lower to mid-60s and lows in the mid-40s. Well, that does it for us here at 5. Thanks for joining us. Good night.